In 1976, workers constructing a new bridge on Elizabeth Avenue unearthed a relic of Charlotte's history. Beneath the modern street were remnants of trolley tracks laid down in the early 1900s, which recalled memories of turn-of-the-century Charlotte and the beginnings of the growth that created one of the city's oldest suburbs, Elizabeth. In the 1890s, this section of undeveloped farmland was purchased by real estate entrepreneur Walter S. Alexander and his partners in the Highland Park Company. Between 1896 and 1897, Alexander decided to donate a large hilltop plot of land to an organization seeking a location for a Lutheran women's college. Founded by Charles King and named after King's mother-in-law Anne Elizabeth Watts, this institution became Elizabeth College. The college, according to its course catalog, intended to furnish to young women an education equal to that obtained in our best colleges for young men. After classes began in 1897, the new school prospered, attracting young women from the upper tiers of Southern white society. At Elizabeth College, the students were offered a variety of courses, including mathematics, science, and classes in the liberal arts and humanities. While intellectual pursuits were an important aspect of education, the school also fostered social refinement by teaching feminine attributes like social culture, conversation, and the arts. The emphasis on cultural refinement was so central to the school's mission that the Girard Conservatory of Music was erected on campus. The conservatory was a source of pride for the college because it helped the school to preserve and perfect every characteristic of a complete womanhood. Even though Elizabeth students excelled in their coursework, the ladies at the college did not spend all of their time studying and found other ways to occupy themselves. Clubs could be created for any interest, and practically every student was a member of at least one. Each recreational group had its own motto, song, cheers, and nicknames for the members, proving just how involved the girls were. Popular clubs included ones heralding the specific interests of the girls, like the Hooligan Club, whose members devoted part of their time conducting pranks across campus.
Hee-haw, never yet caught in deviltry. Hee-haw, hee-haw, hooligans, rah!
Individual grade levels also functioned as similar social associations.
Rah, for 1907, we're the class that's bound for heaven. Rah, for the class that's sore. Hurrah, for the great big four.
Through the clubs, the girls not only formed stronger social relationships with one another, but found ways of expressing their own interests and talents. Sports, like basketball, tennis, and bowling, were also popular on campus, and many girls were active members of teams, engaging in friendly competition. Sports took place outdoors, giving the young women the chance to enjoy the expansive grounds and multiple athletic courts. Even if they did not participate in sporting activities, students took advantage of the beautiful campus for other recreation purposes, which included leisurely strolls and horseback riding. Although the girls spent a great deal of their time on school grounds, they were not confined to the campus. In 1903, Edward Dilworth Latta extended the trolley line to Elizabeth College due to the large population and interest the area was attracting. This gave students at the school easy and affordable access to the rest of Charlotte. In town, the girls could shop or visit the Nickelodeon, greatly increasing the number of leisure activities available to them. Although Elizabeth College was moved to Salem, Virginia in 1915, the trolley was already a permanent fixture in the community and continued to draw residents to the neighborhood. In its early years, Elizabeth was intended as a purely residential area where middle and upper-class white-collar families could live in their quiet countryside away from the bustle of the city. The developers identified Elizabeth as a white middle-class residential neighborhood and mandated that undesirables, such as blacks and poor whites, could not purchase property in the area. Because Elizabeth was removed from the city, residents were dependent on the trolley and accepted it as an essential part of suburban life. The people of Elizabeth used the trolleys so much that trolley paths were constructed, bisecting blocks as shortcuts to the stops. Conductors on the trolleys became familiar, well-loved faces around Elizabeth. Residents trusted and respected these men and showed their appreciation to them by bringing out trays of sandwiches and coffee on cold days. When two conductors returned to the Elizabeth line after a temporary transfer, citizens welcomed them back to the neighborhood and spent so much time catching up with them that the trolley was delayed. The motormen were so popular that even Elizabeth inhabitants with cars still preferred to take the trolley downtown. Men rode the trolley downtown to work for the day, while wives or their servants took the trolley into Charlotte to shop since there were no businesses in Elizabeth. Small drugstores and food markets, such as the Piggly Wiggly chain, did not arrive in Elizabeth until the 1920s. After the trolley arrived in Elizabeth, hospitals also began to appear in the area. In 1916, Mercy Hospital was relocated to the area from downtown. Not long after, another hospital moved into the heart of the Elizabeth community. Using the buildings abandoned when Elizabeth College moved, the Presbyterian Hospital was founded in 1918. Many rich businessmen of the area contributed money to establish the hospital, including William Henry Belk, the founder of the Belk Brothers department store, who personally co-signed a loan that helped acquire the Elizabeth College property. Belk also purchased a piece of former campus to build a home for his wife. Later, the old Elizabeth College president's house was moved so that Belk's new home could be erected on the favorable piece of property on Hawthorne Avenue. In 1925, the family moved into the grand 16-room mansion built of beige brick that reflected Belk's wealth and standing in the community. Although Belk was living at his Elizabeth mansion, he was still close to his work because he could easily walk out his front door and catch the trolley to downtown. Elizabeth was attractive to Charlotte's many prominent citizens, like Belk, because of its residential atmosphere and scenic streets and parks. Elizabeth residents included banker B.D. Heath, the future head of Duke Power Norman Cock, and political leaders such as State Senators Francis O. Clarkson and Chase Brenizer. Hal Kemp, another Elizabeth resident, would become a popular big band leader with hit songs like I've Got a Date with an Angel.
Got a date with an angel. Now I'm on my way to heaven.
Businessmen in Elizabeth included department store manager James Staton and textile men A.J. Draper and Robert Lassiter. Lassiter was also the president of the Southern Manufacturers Club from 1916 to 1917 and frequently rode the trolley to and from the club's meetings, which took place closer to the city. After the trolley system brought an influx of families to the area, it became necessary for Elizabeth to establish educational institutions for children in the community. Due to its prominence, the neighborhood was chosen to house a new grade school as the Charlotte School District expanded into the suburbs. In 1907, Elizabeth Elementary School was built for the younger residents. Similarly, Central High School was constructed during this period as Charlotte's first school built for the purpose of secondary education. Just as the trolley-inspired population increase created the demand for schools, it also necessitated the construction of churches in Elizabeth. During the period, several religious centers sprang up in the neighborhood, including Hawthorne Lane Methodist, Knox Presbyterian, St. Martin's Episcopal, St. John's Baptist, and Caldwell Presbyterian. The multitude of denominations reflected the needs of the growing number of residents. Elizabeth residents also enjoyed recreation, which soon became apparent in additions to the neighborhood. Charlotte's first city-owned public park, Independence Park, was constructed in the neighborhood in August 1904. A part of Independence Park, the Sunnyside Rose Garden, became a prominent attraction as well. The park also featured a lake, footpaths, and a playground for children. Served by 2 trolley lines, including the Elizabeth line, Independence Park was enjoyed by generations of Charlotte residents. Even though the trolley was an important aspect of daily life in Elizabeth, advancing technology led to its replacement by a bus system in 1938. The neighborhood was left to adapt to the changing times. Independence Boulevard was built across Independence Park, destroying the Sunnyside Rose Garden and dividing the neighborhood. More businesses moved into the area, and many homes from the period were demolished, leaving few prestigious properties like the Biberstein family home along Elizabeth Avenue and the Belk and Staton mansions along Hawthorne Avenue. Also, the Elizabeth neighborhood now holds the Central Piedmont Community College campus. Despite all of the changes, the trolley still holds a place in the hearts of Charlotteans.
Those were real days. It went out to the very west section, went out to the old Elizabeth College. Get on that streetcar and come uptown, see the picture shows, and take your girlfriend for 5 cents on the streetcar.